Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer, and today this is going to be a Thursday. This is going to be a P-Yow video, but not the typical P-Yow video that we're used to because we have vintage Premier yarns in the house. Now, I am freshly back from Boston. And while in Boston, I wanted to do some Bostonian things. Now, I have friends that live in Massachusetts, okay? Kim from Affordably Crafty, who does not make videos anymore, but she was a very good, she still Instagram text, she sends me Instagrams all the time still. She, actually, I think I'm going to do these together. This is not P-Yow, but I think we're gonna show that together. When she was making videos, Kim's whole idea was to be affordably crafty. She's extremely good at finding deals, finding bargains, thrifting, stuff like that. And that's what her channel was based on. And she would talk about sales. Like, she kept me in the know. She worked really hard. She worked her channel, okay? She would bargain hunt, and she would go to these stores, and she would do Dollar Tree videos, and she would do thrift videos, which I love thrift videos. I love finding thrifted yarn. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world is bargains. Like, I get more of a high off of finding bargain yarn than just buying yarn. And you guys know how excited I get about buying yarn. When I find a good deal, I get like, woo! So Kim is like my cup of tea, right? I also like the way she says words like coffee. And you know, since I'm fresh from Boston, I gotta have my tea. Actually, I'm drinking throat coat tea because I'm sick. I'm sick. And it's lukewarm at this point because I just talked for an hour and a half, but it's fine. So some of the places that Kim would go to is a store called Ocean City. Is it Ocean City Job Lots? Am I getting that right? Ocean City Job Lots. Ocean State Job Lots. Okay. Now, it's kind of like an Ollie's or a Big Lots. It's that kind of store. And we used to have Odd Lots in Michigan, but it was just called Odd Lots. There was Big Lots and there was Odd Lots. The Ocean State Job Lots is, I never heard of it till I saw Kim. I was like, what even is this store? And she would find yarn there frequently. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll have a good chance of finding yarn if we go to the store. And Lucas wanted to go because it's a new store and he wanted to see what they had. Okay, I spent quite a bit of money in that store, but not on yarn, because they had gluten-free snacks. They had stuff my kids wanted. Like, I bought them stuff, okay? So I spent a good pretty penny in there, but I only found 3 skeins of yarn that was worth my time, okay? They did have the really thick Hometown. I think it was Hometown from Lion Brand. But the thick and quick one, which I don't work with, that's just like a 7 bulky. I ain't mess with that, okay? So they had the Summer Nights from Lion Brand. This is it says it's a #1. I do not crochet with this by itself. And I have a bucket somewhere up there with some other colors of this. I like to hold this because it's a thread and it's glittery. I hold this alongside of like a 3-weight or a 4-weight yarn to add a bit of marl and glitter to whatever I'm crocheting. This is really good for that. So these were $2 a ball, and it is 875 yards of a #1. It's 82% acrylic, 18% polyester, and I think the polyester is actually the sparkle, so it's 18% sparkle. And I got 2 in this colorway, which was Tropical Punch. And as you tell, they're both wrapped differently. And I have a couple of things that I made by holding this together with a thicker yarn, and it just looks beautiful. It adds something to the yarn. It makes it a little more unique. This one is the colorway Flamingo. And these colors are like so vibrant and beautiful. But they only had 1 of these. They only had 2 of these. They had a 3rd one of this, but it was the ball band exploded, and I was not playing with that. So this isn't showing up. This is very much flamingo highlighter pink. And this is like a reddish color. But that's not at all showing up on camera, true. But this is really beautiful. So I bought those at Ocean State Job Lots because of Kim. And I'm like, if I went in Boston, right, do like the Bostonians, or at least do like, I don't think she lives in Boston. I don't know where she lives. But at the very least, I'm going to do, I wanted to go some of the places that I've seen Kim go to in her videos. Because I miss the hell out of Kim. I just really have always enjoyed her videos. And I know she's like trying to focus more on her life and stuff like that. But I really miss her, and I really do hope one day she comes back because she made really good content. Also, another place, she went to a lot of thrift stores. And one of the thrift stores, I knew right away where she was going because the tags are undeniable. Because I do have a Savers by me. Well, it's not by me, it's up north. But I recognized, I was like, that's a Savers. Like, she's at a Savers. A Savers is just a thrift store. It's a big, giant thrift store, but... And so I'm looking, and I'm like, dude, are they going to have yarn? Are they going to have yarn? I just wanted to find yarn. And along the back wall is usually where it's at. And they had the headings, like arts and crafts, this and that. And I looked over the arts and crafts, and all they had was a couple packs of markers or crayons or stuff like that in bags, very similar to this. And I was like, are you kidding me? They don't have yarn? I'm like, I'm going to just go look through the rest of the store. Little man is bopping around finding cool technology things that he likes. And he's having a grand old time all by himself. You okay, Bubba? He's licking his foot. His foot looks red. I just hope he didn't get bit by a snake. Our old dog, Day-Day, got bit by a snake one time. His whole foot swelled up. And he had, like, puncture marks. Anyway, finally found back against the backest wall behind all of the like athletic crap. There was a little thing that had yarn, and it said sewing notions or something. Why the yarn was with the sewing, I don't know, but I was like, oh, is that yarn? I beeline back there, you know. And I found vintage Premier Yarns. And it's vintage enough that I've never heard of or seen this specific Premier Yarns. So I was super, 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 super happy. Generally, when I'm looking for yarn, I look for acrylic or maybe wool, but wool is very touch and go at a thrift store situation because it could be dry rot. It could have yuckies in it, like, you know, crawly, mothy things. I mean, acrylic can too, but acrylic, it's more of a wool thing. So you gotta be careful. You also have to smell, which is why I poke holes in the bag. If it smells dusty, I can deal with it. If it smells like cat pee, it's staying on the shelf. If it smells like cigarettes, it's staying on the shelf. I'm not a smoker. I grew up in a smoking household. I don't want my stuff to smell like smoke. Grody. Now, this time is different because I've been working with amigurumi. I've been having fun with amigurumi, and I've been collecting amigurumi yarn so that I can make whatever I want when the inspiration strikes. This week I have not made a single thing. I started a sweater, can't finish it because I'm tired and I'm hurting and I'm sore and I'm sick, but I was very excited. So I was also on the lookout for yarns I don't generally buy. Okay. You guys know what happened to Cinnamon Stitches. She's buying Bernat. I know. So they had Red Heart Snuggly Bunny. Never seen her tried any of this. And I normally would have stayed away from it. Because I just don't know. And this is... I don't have my glasses in here. Ha! Got my spares. I will open these and go into greater detail. This says it's 100% acrylic. It kind of looks like homespun, which I don't have a problem with homespun at all. I actually like homespun. Then they had Parfait. This is the old Parfait I've been talking about lately. Parfait. Parfait. And then I found a game for me to irritate the kids with in the car. think that is... that is it. And what's really silly is I think I had a coupon, but I didn't feel like finding it, so I didn't get the coupon out, and I probably should have. So, yeah. There's that. Now, the game I found at the thrift store is called Game Room Sing It Back Music Quiz. And this was in plastic, and it's not incredibly old game because some of the songs in here are modern. 2017. Includes 140 question cards featuring 280 songs and instructions, all of which was in here. And so what you do to play is you read the top lyric and they have to guess the next line in the song. So I can't even think of how to sing this song. I got a new life. You would hardly recognize me. I'm so glad. That's Ace of Base, the sign, you know. So we were changing up I was messing with the kids in the car, reading song lyrics to them, seeing if they could guess it. And then if I knew they weren't going to do the song, seeing if they could figure out who sang it or who the artist was. So I'd sing both lines and just play our own way. So now, let's get on to the yarn, right? Because that's what we're really here to see. Now, I'm going to go into more detail with the Premier Yarns because I'm really, really familiar with Premier Yarns. And so that's where we're going to go with that. This bag was $3.99. It's got 2 balls in here of Red Heart Snuggle Bunny. And it's very similar to Homespun. It's a boucle style yarn. And it's soft. It's the color Bluebird. And sometimes these will have a date on them. I don't see one. It's 83 yards. So to make a baby sweater, you need 2 balls. And there are free patterns at redheart.com. Actually, it looks like there's a free pattern on the inside. Yeah, that baby sweater pattern is on the label. And it takes 2 balls. But I'm not going to make a baby sweater. I'm going to be real honest. I have no babies in my life right now. Machine wash, cold, tumble dry. And these both appear to be full balls. And that's such a pretty color. And it smells really nice. So whoever's house this was in, I always assume it's a grandma. Because it is an old label. And that means she probably bought it 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, I don't see a date. And it smells like clean laundry, to be honest. Not like somebody sprayed Febreze on it, but like somebody kept their yarn in a clean area and maybe they had an air freshener in the room. That smells, this one smells better than this one. It smells almost sweet. Alright, there's that. Then we'll do this one next. This one was $3.99 and it's got 2 balls. And one of them is Bernat Baby Blanket. And the other one is Parfait. Now you guys may be familiar with Parfait because that is Premier Yarn's #1 selling yarn. But when I started crocheting, the colorways of Parfait were a lot like this. So there were speckles and sprinkled colorways, and I actually had this exact colorway in my stash, and I had a bunch of it because I got it. If you watch some of the very first videos on the channel where I was opening mystery bags, I got a bunch of the Parfait. And I didn't like it a whole lot because I didn't know what to do with it. I preferred acrylic. I still do. And so I had a bunch of this, and I had the really big balls of it, and I had all the sprinkles, and I gave it to my sister because she really, really loves Parfait and always has. And she's made all kinds of stuff with Parfait, not amigurumis. And so I didn't have it because I gave it all to her because I didn't have a use for it. And she loved it, so I gave her a ton. And so lately, making the amigurumi, there's styles like this of the Bernat and other yarns And I'm like, I remember when Parfait used to have that. So I've been talking about it lately, and then lo and behold, I find it. So I was kind of excited about this. So this is Premier Parfait. It's 156 yards, 100% polyester. It's the color Blue Raspberry. It's a bulky 5. And there's also a free baby sweater pattern on this label on the inside. And it says for this takes 2 balls. Apparently the label or the pattern is in 4 sizes. So it takes either 2 balls or 3 balls. So there's that one. And then the Bernat baby blanket yarn, which is nothing like what is on the market now. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't look like it. It is in a tiny little ball. So this is Bernat baby blanket. I don't think yeah. No, this is from 2014. Alright, so this one is from 2012. So when I say vintage, it's pretty old for yarn. Super bulky number 6. Machine washable and dryable, 100% polyester, 100 grams or 78 yards. So it's not going to make a whole lot. There's a free pattern on the label for what looks like a baby blanket. And for the baby blanket, it says 2 balls of A. So color A is 2 balls, color B is 3 balls, and color C is 2 balls. Made in China. And I just thought this would be such a cute amigurumi. So cute. Alright, and then these were packaged individually, and these were definitely overpriced, because this was priced at $3.99, this was priced at $2.99, but it's vintage Parfait, so I'm buying it because I wanted to. Because it's got the old label and nostalgia, and I'm traveling, so it's a souvenir technically. Do they still make this color? Yeah. And this one smells mildly dusty. Of them do. So this is Parfait, 192 yards in the color cream. All the specs are the same. This has a free project inside as well. Two balls of color A and 1 ball of color B, and you can make, I'm guessing that's a baby blanket, but since the label is ripped and it's over a chair, I'm not real sure. I think it's a blanket. So we got the color cream, and then this one is one of the speckle ones again. I love this colorway. This colorway is the color Ribbon Candy. What did the white one have a year on it? 2014. This one's 2015. Has fiber stuck to it, or that's somebody's hair. That's a little gross. So this ball has what looks like dryer lint on it and hair. So, and it doesn't stink. It smells like somebody's house. So it very well may have just touched up against something in like the donation bin and it's stuck. Yeah. It smells like clean laundry. What I say the color was? Ribbon Candy. And that's so pretty. And I totally see a dinosaur. I totally see a dinosaur out of this. I don't know if this is enough to make a dinosaur. It's 156 yards, but I mean, I could probably make a small dinosaur. And then this is the pièce de résistance. This is the pack I was super excited about because you see that? That's leopard print. That's leopard print, and that's just cool. This bag was $4.99. Now, there is some loops and thread charisma in here, which I'm not excited about because I don't like charisma. This one is from 2015. This reminds me of Serenity Chunky Tweed. And it's a bulky 5. It is 97% acrylic, 3% viscose. It's only 93 yards. So unless I mix this with Serenity Chunky, I don't know what I'm going to actually make. It's only 93 yards. So these two I have never seen or heard of. And these have Deborah Norville, so they're part of the Deborah Norville collection, which when I first started crocheting, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, most of the Premier Yarns had Deborah Norville on it. She was like Premier Yarns Vanna White. So Vanna White was on a lot of Lion Brand, and she had her own brand of yarn at Lion Brand. And so they put Deborah Norville on everything. A lot of my yarn from back in the day had Deborah Norville on it. This is called Cuddle Fleece, and it is 110 yards. It is a bulky number 5. This is the color Cheetah, and Premier Yarns has always been made in Turkey. That's not a surprise. Okay, so I think I read everything. 100% polyester, 110 yards. And this is, it's almost like they cut, it's like t-shirt yarn if they made t-shirt yarn from fleece. Oh, see, it went out of focus. It's very much like a flat piece of fleece, and it curls because that's what fleece does. Is this not cool? I'm thinking I need to crochet some sort of wildcat. I would even, and I don't really like the loaf cats, I think they look weird. I would even make a loaf cat out of this just because fun. So I'm definitely going to turn this into some sort of a cat amigurumi. Hang on. So I got so excited when I saw this, just from the prospects and the idea of what I could make with this yarn. Now it does say that there's a free pattern on the label for a cowl. And this is from the year 2013. Way before I was thinking about, well, I don't know. What year did I start crocheting? So this would have been before Lucas was born. So yeah, I was definitely not crocheting yet at this point, because I didn't start crocheting until he was, I think, 2. I mean, I've been crocheting off and on my whole life, but I say I didn't really make anything until 8 or 9 years ago, because I grew up, my mom taught me to crochet as a child, and I would crochet on things but never finish them. And I did make a scarf for Grandma one year, years ago, when Juju was a baby. I've made a few things, but nothing that I was like, hey, I made that and it's correct, because the scarf was just meh. And I made a couple of things here and there, but I didn't really start crocheting until 8 or 9 years ago. So yeah, and this is really soft and really squishy, and I just think this is going to be really fun to play with. So it's machine wash warm, tumble dry warm. And then I also got the color Evergreen Ridge, which I'm still thinking would be some cool cat, like a green cat. I have no problem with the cat. It's really cool. And these also smell like, I want to say my grandma's house, but I don't have a grandma, but it smells like a grandma's house. Now, that's a little weird. I don't know why that's stuck like that. Yeah, so I was super excited with the score. Like, how cool are those? They don't have yarn anywhere on the market like this anymore. And that is just going to be some super cool amigurumis, no matter. This could even be a dinosaur or a snake, right? Oh, that would be a cool snake. That would be such a cool snake. So, yeah. Don't sleep on your thrift stores, people. Sometimes you have to hunt and hunt and hunt and go to other states and hunt, but there is always cool stuff to be found at your thrift stores. You just have to be patient and go back frequently, and there, you know, You don't have to have a scrap reuse store type situation near you. You can always just go to your local thrift stores. Goodwill is really horrible for craft supplies. I don't recommend going to a Goodwill. I have scored from the Goodwill, but it's far and few in between because sometimes they reject craft items altogether. My favorite places are to get craft supplies aside from a creative reuse store would be I don't know what his problem is. Would probably be like a small church-based or hospital-based thrift stores usually have the best stuff like that. St. Vincent de Paul, not really even Salvation Army, I have found has a whole bunch of craft supplies. Savers is really good for it, and if you're in like Michigan, there's a place called Value World, and I think Value World and Savers are very similar to each other. But yeah, I was so excited to go to the thrift store and find vintage Premier Yarns like that. Because in case you don't know, I have loved Premier Yarns since the very beginning. Since the beginning of this channel, since the beginning of me really, really digging into crochet. And those were some really cool finds. So with that, tell me in the comments, have you ever found really good vintage yarn or something you were super excited about at a thrift store? Put that in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.